Today's story is about a book, but this isn't just any book, it's a very special one. Most of us have read some book or the other, but have you ever heard of a book referred to as Devil's Bible? It's a book not written on a paper but on an animal skin. It's so big and heavy that it requires at least two people to lift it. This book, even 800 years later, remains a mystery, a book that has destroyed whoever possessed it, and its uniqueness lies in the fact that it was supposedly written in just one day. And I'm not talking fancifully. This book still exists today. Many times, it has been declared the eighth wonder of the world, and scientists have researched it extensively. Let's delve into the story, but first, let's understand what this book is. You all must be familiar with the Holy Bible, which is a secret text of Christian religion. But the name of this book is Devil's Bible, also known as Codex Gigas. It is renowned worldwide, and its dimensions are staggering. It has 310 pages made from the skin of animals, using around 160 donkey hides. It is said that there were originally 320 pages, but only 310 remains today. What were on those missing pages and who removed them and why remains a mystery. This book is 36 inches long, 20 inches wide and 8.7 inches thick, weighing around 75 kilograms. Now, the question arises, if this is the devil's book, why it was written, when it was written, by whom it was written, how did the book come into existence? So let's get to the story behind the creation of this book. About 800 years ago, at the beginning of 13th century, there was a monk named Hermann who lived in a monastery in Podlazic. This monastery was within the realm of Bohemian Kingdom, which today falls within a country called Czech Republic. Once, this monk violated the monastery's rules, regulation and laws, which he shouldn't have done. This led to his disgrace among the monks of the monastery. When news of this reached the highest authorities of monastery, who were responsible for all the major decisions, they conducted an investigation. Hermann was found guilty in this investigation. He was then presented before everyone, and for his wrongdoing, he was sentenced to death by being walled alive. As soon as he received this punishment, Hermann fell at the feet of his chief monk, weeping and begging for forgiveness for his mistake. However, none of his pleas were heard. Then, in a desperate attempt to save his life, he said something impossible. He claimed that he realized his mistake and if given a chance to rectify it, he would write a book that had never been written before, a book that would benefit all of humanity and glorify the monastery. After hearing everyone's opinion and thoughts, the head of monks said to Hermann, "Alright, we'll give you a chance. If you can complete this book in one night, your death sentence will be forgiven and you will be pardoned." After that, Hermann began writing the book with full dedication. As time passed and midnight approached, he realized that it was impossible for him to finish the book by morning. He had only two options left: to complete the book by morning and escape the punishment, which was impossible, or prepare for his death by morning. In this dilemma, some time passed and Hermann did something that he probably never would have done. Instead of praying to his god, he invoked the devil Lucifer through a special prayer after midnight. Through that prayer, he summoned Lucifer and called him to his side. As the monk was very prominent and had a great knowledge, he faced no trouble and Satan immediately appeared before him. Afterward, Hermann said to Satan to help him to complete his book by morning. Satan replied that he could indeed finish the book by morning, but what would he get in return? The monk said that he had nothing to give right now, so Satan proposed that he could give him something, and that was his soul. Hermann had no choice, so he agreed to sell his soul to Satan in exchange of completing the book by morning. The deal was settled between them, and the night passed. In the morning, when the monk woke up, he found this book of 320 pages written on donkey skin placed before him. He was delighted to see this, and when the official arrived at dawn, they were also amazed to see such a huge book. However, when they opened the book, they found a picture of Satan in first page. The body of Satan resembled a human, but his mouth was like that of a demon. He had two tongues, which meant that Satan could change his word for his benefit anytime. He had only 4 fingers on each hand and foot, and he was wearing a cloth made of luxurious fabric, a symbol of royalty which only royal people could wear. Indeed, the image was of the devil Lucifer himself. The book was written in Latin but occasionally used Hebrew, Greek, and Syriac language. Overall, the book attempted to worship Satan and portray him in a positive light. For these reasons, the book was named the Devil's Bible, and Codex Gigas is a Latin word meaning a very large book. It is still considered the largest handwritten book from the medieval era. As per the deal, Satan completed his task, and after that, he took the monk's soul into his possession. Since then, this demonic book has embarked on a long journey, and whoever came in contact with it faced some trouble. Its origin traced back to this monastery. Gradually, the fame of this book spread worldwide, highlighting how this book was written in just one night. However, whoever attempted to read this book in the monastery started experiencing mental imbalance. The monks revealed that when they tried to read this book, the letters seemed to be float in the air. Furthermore, the condition of the monastery deteriorated and some money was needed. So they sold the book to another monastery in Sedlak. As soon as this book reached there, a terrible epidemic broke out, causing a death of thousands. Afterward, the book was removed from there and kept in the library. In 1594, it was given as a gift to Emperor Rudolf II of Prague, as he had a passion of rare items. However, even the emperor couldn't escape its consequences, and soon after, he had to relinquish his power. During a war in 1648, the Swedish army looted this book and took it to Sweden. It was presented before Queen Christina of Sweden, who loved it so much that she included it on her list of favorite books. However, just 6 years later, she too lost her throne, leaving Sweden for Rome, taking all her favorite books except the Devil's Bible. She left it behind with a question whether she could forget her favorite book or she leave it knowingly. The answer to this question remains a mystery. After Queen Christina's departure, this demonic book was kept in the National Library of Stockholm, Sweden. In 1697, a massive fire broke out in the library, burning 24,500 books and 1,400 manuscripts to ashes. However, somehow the Devil's Bible managed to survive. It is said that a man working there threw it out of the window to save it from the fire. Well, afterward, it was somehow preserved, and in the year of 1878, on the occasion of the New Year, this book was shifted to Sweden's new National Library, which is in Stockholm. Since then, till today, this devilish book, Codex Gigas, has been kept there. In these 800 years, times have changed, people have changed, and a new era has come. Science has also progressed significantly. And when in the new era, discussions were held about this book, some scientists decided to research this book. In this research, they found that every letter of this book is the same. Whether you look at the first line of the first page of this book or the last line of the last page, both are the same. Neither the handwriting of the person who wrote it changed throughout the book, nor did the ink used. This whole book is written with the same ink. There is not a single mistake in this book, and some things are written in it that have never been found in any other book till date. After this, even the scientists believed that it was not an ordinary book. So, when the same ink and the same handwriting were used throughout the book, it meant that this book was written by a single person. But when the further research was done on it, it was found that if a human were to sit and write this book today, including the small details and the drawing made in it, it would take 25 to 30 years to complete this book. And even if we assume that a single person worked hard for 25 to 30 years to complete this book, then considering his age and time, handwriting would definitely change. Secondly, if this book had been written by many people together, then somewhere or the other there would have been some changes. But according to the expert, every letter in this entire book is the same. Although scientists don't believe in the things like the devil, they concluded that this book must have been written by a single person in a very short time, which is not possible. So, is the story about this book true? Was this book really written by devil's hand in just one night? Because for a common person, doing such a thing is impossible. This fact cannot be denied, and it cannot be called a lie or fiction because this book is still safely kept in the National Library of Sweden in Stockholm and is still available for the people to see. If you ever get a chance to visit Sweden, then do visit Stockholm's National Library and definitely see this book. So, this is the story of the Devil's Bible. Thank you for watching the video. I look forward to bringing you more compelling stories and discussions in future. Until next time, take care and stay curious.